neighbours just come home.
Yeah, that's okay. So
Harley.
now you had the fix your diet card come on.
Yeah, but the question was, which was, I'm starting a new little business and I'm bringing in lots of little products and stuff that I can sell outside of my artwork. So one of the questions was, do I go to the crystal warehouse and purchase crystals and sell them on this site for this business, Creatively in Spirit it's called. So when I got the Fix Your Diet, Make Your Positive Changes Detox, and I can see down here it says timing spring. Yes. So with this card, in that context, am I more or less looking at just the timing on that card? Because this really has got nothing to do with whether I get...
it has actually. This just plays right into my hands. This is something that I was going to teach you today if people turned up without questions like last time. So I'm really, really happy that you are asking this question, and everyone's going to get a turn to ask a question today, and some of you may ask even more than one question. Now, if you ask about a timing, you use the timing down below.
Yes.
And if you don't ask about a timing, you don't need to. Yes. The other thing is, this is a health card. But if I was asking about a business, it would say something needs fixing, or something needs a positive change, or it could be a positive change. Now, when we ask a question, if we throw one card out, that's like me and you having coffee, and every question you ask me, I'll say one answer. You'll say something, I'll go car. And you go, well, what's a car about? Yes. And so when we ask a question, we need to probably make a sentence. One card is a word, more cards make sentences up. Was there any other card you pulled as well?
Yes, this one.
The children card. Now, this is very interesting. Was there any others?
No, I just bought those two, and then I thought to myself, I know my intuition says yes, just to get the crystals and sell them on the site, but because not so much money is an issue at the moment because I am unemployed and that's why I'm starting the business, but it's just like, I'm wanting to do it next week. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go back to the crystal warehouse and get more crystals to sell on the site.
Right. Well, the good news is these two cards are both chakra cards. Can everyone see that? And the reason they're chakra cards is you have a rainbow on this one, or kite, a rainbow kite. So you've got every color of the rainbow there, the chakras. And this one here, you have two. Just know the blueberries are down the bottom. There's always someone that says, where's the blue? And I go, well, the blueberries are down the bottom. These are both chakra cards. If you know what the other chakra cards are, put your microphone on and tell me.
Ooh.
Have a look through and see if you can find all the chakra cards. Now imagine the chakra cards are going to have a rainbow or all the colours in it somewhere.
Imagine it's the good fortune or blessed. You are blessed. This one?
Definitely. That's another chakra card. Who else is? You can put your microphone on if you know. Who else knows what the other two are?
Just trying to think. Oh, the good luck, good fortune one?
Yes, definitely. We've got a rainbow there.
Yep.
Excellent. Now there's one more that I want you to find, if you can. Anyone else?
The blessing one?
What about the angel wings?
The angel wings. That's the you are blessed, definitely. We just had that one.
Oh, sorry, I missed that one.
You're right.
This one. Be creative.
Yes, that's it, Debbie. That's it. You
wonderful.
got it. Spot on. That's the other one. Now, sometimes people will pick the happiness one, but I'll go, no, you haven't got all the colours in that. So definitely it's not all of a chakra card.
Right.
But you actually picked two chakra cards there, which means that it's a very spiritual thing. And you're talking about crystals, which are spiritual.
Yes.
This card here is what I nickname the card of fun. And it's about people following you or you having fun with it. Because what do children do? They want to have fun. And if they're not having fun, they go, you're not my friend anymore. So we have a chakra card here about fun. We have the Fix Your Diet card. Now, if this was about work, this would be saying you need to make a positive change at your work. If it was about your health, you need to eat more fruit and vegetables. If it was about your romance, it would say that it's either a positive change if you've got positive cards around it, but if there's negative cards around it, it is saying something in your romance or relationship needs fixing.
Right.
So every card can go to the topics that we have, and everyone that comes to me for a reading wants to cover the same 6 things. Everyone does. Relationships, health, career, study, they're doing something. Finances, money, investments, travel, and spirituality. So every card can really fit in one of those topics. Now, these are both positive together, and you asked, should you go to the Crystal Warehouse? And you got 2 chakra cards. Who else can guess what that says? Put your microphone on and say if you want to. You can all have your microphones on, just don't all talk over the top of each other.
I think it says yes.
I do too.
Yeah,
It's a big yes.
And it was interesting because I pulled a card from the essential oil deck, and that's the one that came up. And that's the Lang Lang, and that's the have fun child, inner child.
And it matches the children card.
Yeah.
Because there's a card that matches in this deck. There's one to match.
I love it when I draw the 2 of them. Yes.
Yeah. And you can normally tell because I've put it into the messages. So that's wonderful.
Yeah. And so the other card, Katy-K, was the Cypress, which is get moving.
Well, there you go. Get moving.
Yeah. So get moving, move as much as you can to go forward, be motivated.
There you go.
Excellent.
So you can always pull from the other deck as well, or you can pull more cards for clarity. If you were to pull a people card, like the children, you can always ask for more information.
Yes.
But especially for the male or female, you want to ask more information. Why did the male turn up? Why did the female turn up? And you can do that. If you pull a negative card, you need to pull another card to turn it into a positive.
Right, because I normally do pull 3 cards, but this morning I thought, no, I'm just going to pull 1 card and just see what happens.
One card is good for yes or no.
Yes, okay.
Positive or negative.
Right.
Because remember, if we're having a conversation, I'll say dump truck.
Yeah.
And you go, well, what does she mean by that?
Exactly. More explanation. Yep.
More explanations. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's good. Now, who wants to go next? Who's got a question about the cards?
I'll go, Katie.
Oh, good, Debbie. So you got the male card.
Yeah. Can you give us a little bit more information on this card when it comes up? Is it a positive? Is it negative? I know it depends on the question that's asked.
Yeah.
But I know, I think I've seen you say before he's got a hidden hand and all sorts of things. So maybe a bit more explanation about that.
Okay. So every single card has underlying messages and meanings. So say we take this one here, our creative card. Yeah. That is an opportunity card because someone is handing something to you. But not only that, if we look, the box is really plain, but this is my surprise card because we don't know how the paint is going to land. We don't know what colors it's going to make. So this is like surprise. That's just another way of using this card, but it has many other meanings as well. So when we come to the male one, depending on where your eye is drawn, would depend on what you would think. So if you're looking at the shadow, that could be about a male that's overshadowed by someone. If you're looking how he's leaning, that's saying he's really comfortable or he needs to lean on someone. You would put it to the question that's asked. Anytime, as I said before, that you pull a male or a female, you need to ask for more information. Does that make sense, Debbie?
Yes. Okay, more information, sure.
Yeah, but you need to say, so if I pull another card and I got this, so this would say, because this is my card of resolution, that something needs resolving with a male where you've got to make peace, forgive, or let go.
Right.
But if I pulled this card, well, this is your romantic interest. And if I pull this card, this is an opportunity card again, but you don't trust this person or you're aware of this person, depending on how many more we've cards. Does that make sense?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We've all got them. Mine will probably start snoring. So, and the hidden hand is, if you're drawn to the hand that's hidden, that's talking about he's not showing his hand. He's got some sort of secrets. You know, if you put your hands out, you're open to anything. If you've got them closed down, not so much. But if you've got it hidden, that's saying you're hiding something. You're not showing your whole hand.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Now start thinking of new ones. Who would like the next one? Anyone? 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 No?
I'll ask Katie. Katie, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Good. Albina, you got in?
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, I got in. Thank you. I suppose for me, because I haven't got my deck yet, but I've had a reading from one before from my friend.
Yes.
What advice would you give me to use it when I start using your deck as a new person using them, or both of them actually?
As a new person reading them, using them, when I demonstrate at expos, I always just use 3 cards because it's simple. Several reasons. 1, there's not much room to demonstrate them. 2, you don't want to complicate things when you're showing people. But the biggest tip I will give you is it's great to ask questions with this one. So with this one here, you just ask a question and you would pull it out. So if I was to ask a question, the first thing I'm going to do is, depending on who the question's about, so I might ask about my son, John. So I'll knock John in, and I know he's putting a music single out this year. So I'll say, what does he need to know about his music single that he's bringing out this year? And then I will not look, and I'll just cherry pick 3 cards. Right. And then I would put them up, and I would see that there's one card that's sort of negative. It says sorry, but we say sorry after something's happened. So this is about something from the past that needs resolving. And so I would add another card to get more information and to make it more positive. So I'd say, what needs resolving? And I'll pull another card, and it says that something needs improvement. Okay, so where it stands right now, it's saying, the first card says it's going to take off. See, it's going to take flight. You've got that plane taking off. Mm-hmm. And then the next one was, but there's something that needs resolving, or he has to make peace with. And then the third one is, for it to be a success, he has to communicate it on the internet as much as he can. Can you see that?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then this one here is an improvement card, and we've got more than one improvement card in there. And so that would be saying that maybe this thing that needs resolving is something else needs tweaking or improving, but people are going to love it and it'll improve. Now, if I use the Modern Oracle of Essential Oils deck, it's a beauty, honestly. I'll show you the same question and let's see what happens. So I'm just going to knock John in. So you always knock the person in. If I change the person to my daughter Chloe, I would have to knock her in. But if the next question is about John, I don't need to knock him in again. So
okay.
How will John's single go this year that he's releasing, right? Pulling 3 cards, 1, 2, 3. The interesting thing is we got, see, if you look at the chakras, we got 2 creative cards. See that?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And we got a violet card there. So what we've got is, my son is a channeler and he channels music, and we've got that he has created something, which we know that's what the song's about. But also, if we look at the words up the top, these 3 on all of them, they say discernment, protective strength, empowerment, persuasive, purposeful, amazing, winning, good fortune. So they're saying that he needs to be discerning and protective of this song. And also he needs to empower someone possibly and persuade them to be putting this song out as well. Mm-hmm. And that it will be a winner. Okay. Now, if I look at the images, I can also see that this one here, there's a lot more opportunities around. There's all the opportunities in there, but there's more. And if I look at this, this is a heart. So that's telling me that it's, you know, they're going to love it. And this one here shows me all the bottles are open. So it's open to more. More people will want it, that you can do more with it because all these bottles are not capped. So we can access more. So that's 3 ways we use it. If we looked at the oils and we want to go there, this wild card is a surrogate card. So if we don't have a particular oil, we can use any oil we want for that if it's not mentioned in the deck already. So we use it as a surrogate. So it might be pansy or balance or whichever one you have. And you can change it each day. But the oils would say it would be good for him to work with these oils. Now, we all know frankincense is a very spiritual oil, and he's a channel, so that talks about that. Ginger has heat in it, and whatever that was, you would use, but I would be diffusing those oils as a blend if you wanted to go down that track, because there's 7 ways you can use this deck. Now, if I look at the messages down the bottom, see those messages? And if you've got your cards out, you can follow along. The messages in the order I pulled them out would say, time to step up and be protective and a source of strength to those around you. And you can do this. Go for it. Move forward with your plans because fortune is shining upon you and this is a lucky time. All I did was join the 3 together and I got a message. I didn't even have to think. Then if I wanted to look at the affirmations, I can join them together too. And it says, be loving and supportive to those around you while you're putting your music out because you can do anything. You're strong and you will be successful and you are blessed and you're surrounded by good fortune right now and there'll be a winner. All I did was apply those words in the affirmations to the question. Then if I went to the bottom and looked at the numbers, I've got the number 18. And so what you do is you add 1 and 8 together and you get a 9. I've got the number 20 with ginger, so that's going to be a 2. So 9 and 2 is 11. And I got a 1 there, so that's going to make it 12. I still need to take it to a single digit, so 12 is going to become 3. So then I go to the little Bible here, to page 14. And 3 is creating joy, celebrations, communication. Now, in the other deck, we got the communication card. So it's saying it's going to be important that he communicates. We also got creative with the chakras and we've got creative with the 3. We also got celebration and joy. And this card told us it's going to be pretty good. So we know that. If we go over the page to the law of attraction, we find the number 3 is chase your dreams. What a perfect message for that question.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can put all those 7 things together with that deck.
You get a lot.
Yeah, you can. And I can also take those 3 cards I had before and I can put them above it if I want to. So I can have them lined up. So we had the travel, and I'm trying to get them in the order you see them. So it probably has to go that way. And then I had that one there. And then when I pull these ones up, they can be under. And then what I would be looking for is words in common. And we've already got the communication thing with the number. Yes. And so you can become more involved with it that way. Does that help, Mabina?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. That's I'm eager to try them, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Can
great.
I ask you a question? When you diffuse the oils, how long should you diffuse the oils for after you've pulled a card? Okay,
so what I do is I diffuse them till the thing stops. I'm going to get value from my oils. I turn it on. I'll even turn it on for 10 hours and I just leave it and I let it go. And, you know, when it stops, game over, start again. And I'll just put more in and start again.
Okay. So yeah, so do you do it for like a week?
Oh,
do you do it for a week or just the day? Or
I would do it while I'm creating in his case because it's about his music. But he could do it other times as well. And you would do it until the next time you use the cards and you've got another blend to use. You could do it for a week until you feel in tuned or not wanting to. But if I did it for a week, I think my husband would be sick of it by then. So he'd be wanting a different essence. And that's men for you. So no disrespect, but my husband likes change. So does that answer all the question?
Yes, thanks very much.
You're very welcome. Who wants to go next? Anyone? Karen, have you got anything for us, honey?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, number one, you had written in your newsletter about the snake, the
Yes.
python in your yard.
Yes.
Okay, that was one of the cards I drew on Sunday morning.
Aha. Did you draw any other cards with it, Karen?
I'm sorry, excuse me. No, because it's when you were talking about the negative card, then I realized I should have drawn, because it didn't fit in with the rest of the cards.
Ah. Did you ask a question when you drew the card, Karen?
No, you had said that you were mindful of the message and that you did have someone who you did do that to you. So I thought, okay, this week will be about, you know, just watching and paying attention and seeing what's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But nothing.
I'm getting a book out, and I've had many incidences with snakes. My mother tells me that the night before I was born, she trod on a snake on the way out to the outhouse and stayed there until someone came and got rid of the snake. She was that scared. And next morning, 10 a.m., I'm born. So that was the first snake encounter. But another time I was going to buy a house. My husband and I were looking at one, and we pulled up, and my intuition said, no, this house is no good. But he was really keen, and I'm saying, no, we're not wasting our time. He's going, you can't do this. The real estate agent's there. He's not going to understand how you make your decisions and how you're drawn. And so we went in there, we went through the house, the feeling didn't get any better. We went out to the backyard, and when we went to go back in, a snake, a big one, had wrapped itself around the door handle. And I went, that's it, I'm not going into that house and we're not buying it. And I ran up to the car, and my husband's going, it's all right, she doesn't mean it's okay. A month later, we got a cyclone go through and that house got flooded, totally underwater.
Wow.
That was spirit warning about it.
Yeah.
So I always say snakes are warnings. But if I see a snake's skin, that's telling me about evolving. We're shedding a skin and doing something new, spiritual involvement.
Okay, then it fits in.
If you have all positive cards around this is just saying there's an opportunity that looks good, but something's holding you back.
Wow.
Or it says that you need to just be more aware. And for me, that would be, look where you're walking so you don't tread on one, or be more cautious in your car, or just be more aware, because I do tend to go off with the fairies. That's part of the perks of the job, I suppose. But it's about focusing more. And but this is one of our opportunity cards, and if it's got good cards around it, it's saying, well, there's the opportunity, but it might look too good to be true because the apple looks great, but something's holding you back. See the snake holding you back. Does that answer your question?
You know, patience and good luck and calmness and balance and getting organized. So it was like they all kind of fit together. Except I mean, what is with the snake? You know, because I can't think of anyone in my life who would be.
No, it doesn't have to be betrayal. The reason I put 3 lots of words is so that when you make sentences, you can choose which one fits the best.
Yeah.
And you go with that. I'm impressed that you read my newsletters, Karen. I'm thrilled.
Well,
I think there's 6 people. I'm not sure.
I don't like snakes, so I could relate to you.
Oh, that's lovely.
But we don't have here.
I enjoyed spending time with you in Hawaii recently. It was lovely. Thank you.
Well, I'm looking forward to you coming again soon.
Yeah, if they let us out of the country, I'll be there with bells on. So right now it doesn't look promising. Who else has a question? And you can ask a second question.
It's funny, my husband and I are actually wanting to move house.
Yeah.
And I have been drawing the new house card a lot. And I think when it says timing months, was that around 3 months from memory or something, was it?
Well, did you just draw the card on its own, or you've been drawing?
No, there were other cards with it. And admittedly now I can't remember because I think it might have even been yesterday, but I'm drawing it a lot. And I'm wondering if that's signifying to start looking, because we're in Brisbane here and we were thinking of moving up to Budrum, and with the coronavirus, you know, obviously things are sort of staying put a little bit. So it's just like, well, if I'm drawing that card, and I think I even, this one, the stay put one, I'm drawing.
Now the stay put card has two meanings.
Right.
And the thing is with it is, if you ever ask about travel, it's never stay put. It's saying you'll be safe.
Yes.
But if you're asking, should I move jobs? It says stay put. Should I move houses? Stay put. Now, the reason you would have been getting this to stay put is you cannot move while coronavirus is happening.
Yes. Yes.
So it's saying, hold your horses, go stay put for a little bit, and then you'll be able to go. The reason the house card keeps coming up is your guides are talking to you and they're saying, hey, we know you want to move house. You know, people will ask questions about the house and the house card will come up. If they ask about study, the study card comes up. This is how good these cards are.
Yes, definitely.
So this is why it's coming up. When you ask your question, you could ask how long before it would be fine for us to move, or how long before we find something. Did you know there are only 17 timing cards in that deck?
Oh, okay.
17. And there's 53 cards, and often I'll pull 3 cards and 2 of them will be timing, or 3 of them will be timing. And that's when you know it's all about timing, and the spirit world wants you to know the time.
Yes.
But if you were thinking, you know, asking about time, you would apply those timing cards.
Yes.
If you ask a question about time and a timing card doesn't come up, the message is not finished. You keep pulling cards and you get a timing card and you apply all those other cards.
Right. Yeah, because that's what I'm not doing then, because I sort of look religiously at the 3 cards and think, okay, new home, prove it. Yep. Okay. Safe and secure and whatever. And then I sort of look at the timing thing and it's understanding then, to ask that extra further questions and pull it out. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
We're having a conversation, and if I was sitting with you and you didn't understand something, you would ask me.
Yes.
Or you would question it.
It's
and
not religious to stick
so
to
you
it.
ask the cards more, because that's how the spirit world is communicating to you.
I think it was that card I also drew with, which is all the storm and commotion, I think, of the corona.
If it's negative, it's saying full on chaos, right?
Yes.
But if it's positive, it's just saying be prepared.
Aha.
You're pulling this out. It's saying get prepared or you'll be in chaos. You'll be moving all of a sudden and you'll be going, I can't handle this.
Yes. Okay, cool. Yep, because you can draw whatever I want from that.
Yeah. But you take the negative meanings if there's negative cards around, and if there's positive cards around, it makes it lighter. But this card here is my meditation card. If I'm pulling something ask a spiritual question, this says you need to meditate. Where do you think you're meditating to? Higher than where you are.
Yes. Yep.
And most people think it's going up higher to the sky or wherever. But also here is the energy coming down to you while you're meditating.
Yes. Lightning. Yes.
And where else does the information come through? Your crown chakra. And that's a crown chakra color.
Can
you see that?
Yes, of course. Yes. Okay, that's it. It's also looking at the picture. It's telling the story.
It's taking it in. I've multi-layered these so you can all get as much as you need out of them.
Yes.
But I want to just mention the 3 cards. I use 3 cards when I'm demonstrating. But you can also do a Celtic cross spread, and I've got that course and it's really cheap on Thinkific if you want to get it and try it. You can also do 3 cards and you set the intention that it's the past, present and future. When I draw 3 cards, as you saw, to answer my son's question, I always set the intention, and Spirit will know, unless I say past, present and future, it's always 3 cards moving forward. I will keep adding to get more information.
Right.
The reason you would use past, present and future is if you didn't know the person and they ask, say, a question about their love life, you need to know what has brought them to asking this question right now. Okay. But if I'm doing it for John, I know his history, so I don't need the past.
Yes.
I just want to know from this point moving forward.
Yes.
And so that happens. There's many ways you can use the 3 cards, but whatever you set the intention for whatever spread you use. So if you're using the Celtic cross spread or Celtic, you that spread has the intention set for each position, and that's what it is. If you set the intention for other things like a 5-card spread, you can have the distant past, the present, the near future, and the future.
Yes.
If you want to, or you can just have 5 cards moving forward. The more cards you have, the bigger the story, the bigger the sentence. But if you try and use the whole deck, you know negativity is going to come up somewhere. I sort of, I stop once it's positive. If I've got negative cards, you keep going till it's positive, because if someone came to you for a reading, you can't say, oh, it's all doom and gloom, off you go. They didn't come for that. They need to know how to sort it out.
Yeah. Very good.
Okay, now, any more questions for anyone? You all know everything?
Well, can I add another one?
You can have as many, no one else is asking.
My husband's laughing upstairs because I'll never shut up. It was funny. It was a 3-card spread. Oh, it must have been a month and a half ago now. So I don't remember the other cards with it. And I drew the broken heart one. Well, my heart sunk. I sort of thought of my father and I panicked. I thought, okay, no more. And I sort of put it to the side because I woke up in such a high and went down to Woolworths, did my shopping because everything's changed. You've got to pack the bags, do all of that sort of stuff. And the woman, and because then I forgot all about this, and the woman was really rude to me. And so it really got me down. Anyway, it wasn't until I came home, because I'd left the cards out, even though I'd left it sort of alone. And I come back and I was really sad that day. And then I come back and I thought, yes, it's talking about sadness. So maybe it was a sadness she was going to cause me by being rude. I'd never, ever had been someone had be that rude to me. So I thought, okay, it's not so much a broken heart, a heartache or emotional loss. It was just the sadness of that thing.
Yeah. Well, this card is something that scares people, and there's a few scary cards in there, and that's why I did this deck, because if a child pulls a card, we don't want to scare them. Yet there is a card in this deck that matches this one.
Oh, okay.
As I said, in both decks, there is a card, 53 cards, and 1 card in this deck will match a card in this deck.
Yes.
You'll have fun finding them.
Oh, and I love it when they do marry up. It's brilliant. It's like double confirmation.
It is. It's exciting.
Yes.
But see this card here? This is my card of overwhelmment. I give all the cards a nickname. And this is saying all my heart pieces need to be brought together. It's saying that I'm feeling torn in many directions. That's why my heart's in many pieces. If you've got negative cards around, it's about loss. And depending on what is beside it, that could be loss of success. That could be loss of patience. That could be loss of money. That could be loss of happiness. And also, these 2 cards are opposites. They're the duality. You've got happy and sad.
And the colours and
there's a lot of duality cards in there where you've got opposites. If we got this card, although they're both negative, it can be sadness that's bringing on stress because this is negative.
Yeah.
It can also be, if you've got a lot of positive cards, that maybe it's a loss of guilt or loss that's causing guilt. You've got to fit it to the situation, and you still need to use your intuition to bring it in. Yes. Now, this one here is a loss of the diet. Okay, or a loss of changes, or a loss of detoxing, depending on what the subject is. If there was a health question, I would say you need to eat more healthily for your heart.
Right.
Okay.
Like that, yes.
If this came up, it's a loss of creativity or a loss of opportunity.
Okay.
So this is really like a word that describes an adjective.
Yes.
If someone was asking about their relationship and all negative cards came up and this one came up, that would be saying that there's sadness there, there's loss, because it does happen.
Yes.
When I'm demonstrating at expos and this comes up, I cringe because I don't want to be the person that says, oh, this isn't working out. And one time it did come up, and I was very brave, and I said, look, it's not looking too good. She said, we broke up last night.
Ah, well, there you go.
And I said, and you're devastated? And she said, yes. And I said, and you're overwhelmed? And she said, yes. And your heart's broken? She said, yes. So I call this my shattered heart card. That's its nickname, because it's like a jewel that's been broken. And there's many, many pieces, and all these pieces come together, and it's about bringing all your heart pieces back together.
Right.
So you don't feel overwhelmed, so you don't have heartache. You had heartache, that's from that woman that gave you a hard time. That's what the heartache was.
Yes. And it wasn't until I came back later and looked, and I thought, oh, of course, then the penny dropped, you know. Yes.
Yeah. Now, this is not a loss of children. Never, ever is a loss of children. And it's never a loss of the male or a loss of a female when they're together. But this is a loss of fun. This is a card of fun.
Yes.
Or this is losses because of your children. So you've had to pay out for their car rego, or they've totaled your car off, or you're having to pay their rent. But we never predict losses of people through the cards.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Aha, that's good.
Is everyone learning, having fun?
Yeah.
Am I answering all your questions? Any more questions? Yes, Jules. She's putting her microphone on.
Yes. I just had a question about, so when you want an answer, would you say just ask the question? Obviously not a yes or no answer, but it could be. So that's one card. 3 cards.
If you're wanting just a yes or no question, you'd pull one card. So
Okay.
if I pull this card, that would be a yes.
Yeah.
It's positive. If I pull this card, definitely a yes. If I pull this card, it's a no.
Right.
You're confused. You don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You've got too many options to choose.
Yeah.
If I pull this card, you're uncertain, you're unsure. You're still up in the air about it. You haven't made up your mind.
Could that also be, yes, take a leap of faith?
Yes, definitely.
So it's what comes
Get out
to
of your
mind.
comfort zone. This one here is my up in the air about something, or get out of your comfort zone. You haven't committed to either one. You're still tossing it around.
Yep.
There's a lot of hidden meanings in them. With this one here, you've got to take note of all the gold down the bottom, because that colour is about joy and confidence. So there's the confidence there to make this decision, even though this person is in the dark. See how they're in the dark? When I've got people in the dark, that means they don't know yet. They're not enlightened. They don't have enough information. Have you ever heard someone say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm still in the dark about that. I haven't got the information yet. Okay. So that's the yes and no. But if you ask a question that's more than that, you would see by how many positive and negative cards there is. But asking a yes or no card with lots of cards is really just getting more information.
Yeah. And then the 3 cards, you said past, present, future, and then the 5 cards, recent, past, recent, past.
Yep. Present, near future, future, but you've got to set that intention beforehand.
Okay.
Right.
And are there any other spreads? Like, can you do a 12-month spread for the month?
Definitely.
Month by month?
When I do my 12-month spread, I pretend there's a clock, and I make December number 12, and number 1 is January, and February's number 2, March, and then I put them in the circle, and I place whatever month I'm in now, I place that down first, because that's your starting point. So right now we're in May, so I would put May in the number 5 position on a clock, and that would be my May card, and then number 6 will be my June, and I go around, and that gives me a full year. And as I go around, I make the cards either side interact. But not only that, I look at the whole clock and I go, is there a lot of positive? Is there a lot of negative? What should I be looking for? do I have a lot of nouns? Now, nouns are things like that are like the house. The house is a noun.
Yeah.
But the loss card is an adjective. It's describing the house. Loss of a house. So nouns are things that, like that, to me. They're cards that are a topic card, is a better way of putting it. So we've got a relationship card there. Travel, that's a topic. If we look at, as I said, the house, that's a topic. And if we look at work, that's a topic. Everything else tells you what's happening about this work or this career. Does that make sense? And you know, you can alternate. I can pull 2 cards from this one and put this one in the middle, say. I can have one on one side, this in the middle, and one on the other. I don't have to just pull from one deck. And then I can still join them. And then it's even more exciting out of 106 cards if you pull 2 the same out of 3 cards.
Yeah.
And when you're doing the picking of the cards,
Yes.
like I see people do it differently, but you normally, like, you call it cherry picking.
I do.
But some people also feel for the energy.
Yes.
And so you just do what works best or you feel led to do.
The reason I do cherry picking is when I'm doing expos and demonstrating, there's no room. I can't spread the cards out.
Yeah.
But also I always say, do not take the top or the bottom for 2 reasons. If they just draw 3 off the top, what if they weren't shuffled properly? You get the same 3 cards, okay? If I draw off the bottom, may have already seen it, chosen to reject it or take it because I think it feels good. So what's happened then? My brain's in the way. I may choose, if I feel the urge to shuffle in the midst of pulling. But it's quite easy for me to just use my thumb to go like that. When it stops, I pull a card. Pull it again, there's another card. Pull it again, there's another card. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm just flicking the cards with my thumb and it stops, so I pull a card out. Flick it again, it stops, so I pull another card out. That's how I'm doing it because there's no space. Some people like to go all the way across and lay them out like this and then choose a card. Some people, this is very important. If you're shuffling the cards and one jumps out and you haven't asked your question, that's called spam or lousy shuffling.
Yes.
Because you haven't asked a question. That's like me throwing out random words when you haven't asked me anything. Just going, bike, and you're going, what about it? I haven't asked anything yet. But if it jumps out after you've asked the question, well, then the universe has taken it out of your hands and said, this is really important. And they've pulled it out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And your question about the year as well. I like that question. That was good. The annual. There are lots and lots of spreads. Whatever spread you're doing, you need to set the intention before you start. My fallback spread, the spirit world knows, is if I'll just be pulling 3 cards, it's always this card moving forward. Okay? First card is the present moving forward, unless I stipulate anything else, because I don't want to have to think that every time I ask a question. So that's my fallback one. But I might decide to do a Celtic spread and I will lay them down in the order that they go. I might decide that I want to do an annual spread and I'll do it that way. And the other thing when you do the annual spread is you look, if you've got a lot of cards that have timing in, well, timing is going to be very important for that year. If you've got a lot of those topic cards, that's saying that you're going to be focusing on a lot of those things as well. And you might have opposite cards that match up as well. You might have a lot of travel cards in there. You might have a lot of health cards. So that would say for the year, you need to focus on your health. You know, when we look at health cards and we apply them as a health card if we ask a health question. But this one, if we're asking health, says you need to go and take time out to fly a kite or run. But you need to get some exercise outside. This is fix your diet if we're asking about health. This says you need to work at your health. This says you need to take action about your health right now.
Yes.
This one here is normally my vasectomy card when it comes up, when we're asking about health, or my tubes tied, or even a stomach sleeve surgery, anything that involves cutting and tying. Okay?
I've drawn that card recently a couple of times, but not for
Yeah,
health.
but it depends on what the question is. You know, some woman asked why, if she'd be able to have children, and this card came out, and I said, well, has your partner had a vasectomy? And she said, yes, but we're looking at reversing it. So it worked. This one here, as a health card, is saying it's going to improve. I would take the word improvement.
Right.
This one says there's challenges with your health.
Mm-hmm.
This one says clean up your act with your health. This one says ride a bike, do some exercise.
Mm-hmm.
This one says eat more protein. Can you see why?
The cow.
There's a cow in it. So this one here, I would say take your time while you're eating and drink more water.
Ah.
See that?
Yes.
And this one says you need more commitment to your health. It's not saying you're going to get married, because we're applying it to health.
Yes.
This one says protein. Take a fresh start to your diet as well. This one says eat more greens and drink water, because that's what's normally in a well.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that? This one says you're frustrated about your health. This one here, protein, just go the protein, but you don't have to make it seem weird.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can apply them in many, many ways. This one doesn't say eat a brick wall. It's saying whatever you're doing now is not working, find another way. This one here, what do you think that would mean? Look for the obvious.
Well, I've drawn that. I have actually drawn that a lot recently as well. New business. For me, it was like, yeah, I'm starting up a new business.
Yes.
I feel like it's a fresh start, like fresh approach.
That could be one. Debbie, what do you think?
I think it's eat more greens.
Good girl. That's it. There's a plant there.
Ah.
Yeah.
So go with that.
Health.
Okay.
Right.
So this one here, the word walk is on it. So it's asking you to walk. Okay. But you could also say meditate if you wanted to. You could also say drink more water.
What about this one with
make it
health?
your focus. Yes, Debbie.
What about this one with health, the decisions card?
Oh, well, you've got some greens there, right?
Yes.
So you could eat greens, but it's also saying you're thinking about improving your health.
Right.
You haven't made a decision about it yet. You're still deciding what you're going to do.
Sure.
Will I go the eat nothing diet, or will I go the fasting diet, or will I go the eat everything I see diet? Whichever one. That's a good question.
Mm.
Is there anything else? I said we'd do 30 minutes because people get, upset if it's too long and they've got to go somewhere. And Siri's decided to interfere as well. So she often does that in the middle of readings. But we're coming up to an hour, and I'm happy to do a few more if you've got them, because this is about you guys learning. And I have said in the past, I will do one of these every month, every week, whatever, if you want them. Mm-hmm. Yes, Debbie.
If I get these cards, the blessing card and the angel wings card in a reading,
yes.
I leave the blessing card in the pack, and to me that is, I just want to make sure I'm right, that look, your angels are here, they're talking to us, they're giving us the right message, you are blessed, you are guided. Is that what you would say that would mean?
First mistake. This is the most powerful card in the deck and never gets left in the box.
Oh, you don't leave it in?
No. This is your prayer that you say before you start, but this card is the most powerful card that you can get in the deck.
Yeah.
It's like in the other deck, it's the good luck card, right?
Okay, so you do leave it in for reading.
If you always, if you
Yes.
get these two together, that's called a double blessing. That's even higher.
Right.
You've got blessed and blessing, right? If you get this card on its own, it says the situation is blessed and what will happen will be for your highest good.
Right.
Mhm.
It's also the karma card. And if someone's asking about their spiritual gifts, this is the person that works with angels, and this says they channel. They have a direct link to the divine.
Mhm.
Right.
This is the most powerful card. Never leave it out of your deck.
Okay. Yeah. Good. It's in my deck all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I see this, I know everything's going to work out as it's meant
That's
to.
going,
This is like destined.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
That was a
Thanks.
great question, because it saddens me if you're not using that card, because it is so powerful.
Yes.
Mm.
And you only have to do this once. That is a connection prayer. It'll connect you whether you're reading a crystal ball, reading teacups, using a pendulum. It is just stating what your intention is, that you want to ask for divine guidance from the highest source of all those good. So you don't want to connect to anything crappy like when you do a Ouija board. You want to invite your guides and helpers to connect you with accurate and specific messages. We want accuracy. We want to be specific, not all not sure thing. And we want to be a clear and true channel so we get the message right, the divine wisdom with truth and love. Amen. And so it is.
Yep.
That sets the intention for anything that you're doing with the spiritual world. That is all you need. Do I only use that? I meditate. I use my rainbow connection meditation before I start a day of readings, and then I do this. But if I'm just mucking around for me, I just do this.
Right.
So, and again, it's up to you, but that's what that card's about. So I'm so glad you asked that. I just assume people know, because when I demonstrate them, I always talk about the double blessing with this card. But then people buy the decks online and they don't get to know that. So, you know, this is good that they get to know this with this.
Sure.
Now, what I need to tell you is where you signed on Thinkific for this, next week, my PA Bree will put it up there so you can watch it back over and over and over again as much as you want. When you buy something from Thinkific, you can watch it, use it as many times as you want. There's no, okay, you finished, so it's over. You can go back to anywhere you want in those courses. The free courses, the same deal. So I put one in Thinkific. You would see there's a free snake symbology one, and the code was in the newsletter, and then you get it for free. After this month, it'll be $10. There's also a free healing meditation that was done down by the lagoon in my backyard, which people are loving. There's also some other free stuff in there as well. All my courses are straight to the point, like me. They have short videos because no one has time to sit down for half an hour at a time. They might, you know, in the introduction to the modern Oracle course, there'll be a video on this for 1 minute that tells you about this. All you need to go to get started. When you go to Mastering the Modern Oracle, then it brings up even more details, and the video then becomes 3 to 5 minutes. For example, if we look at this card here, depending on where your eye is drawn on this card will give you more information. So if I'm drawn to the grey, that says it's not a black and white situation. If I'm drawn to her hair being on one side, it says it's a one-sided situation. If I'm drawn to her mouth being open, that says she's tongue-tied. If I'm drawn to the fact that she looks naked, that says she feels vulnerable, because imagine you're the only naked person in the room. If I'm drawn to the steam coming out of her ears, that says she's reached boiling point. She can't go anymore. If I'm drawn to the ropeable neck there, she's ropeable. So that's the next level if you want to put more into your readings, but you don't need to. But that's in Mastering the Modern Oracle. And with each of those big courses that I do, I also have invented a spread. So for Intro to the Modern Oracle, there is the Modern Oracle spread, which a lot of readers use now. It's fantastic. And then with Mastering the Modern Oracle, I brought in that spread plus a new one, because some people just buy that course and not the intro. depending on where they're at. With discovering the modern oracle of essential oils, which is for this deck here, I go into, you know, all the other meanings for this and what else you can do with it and how you can use it. And instead of doing 2 courses, I combined it all into one. So the mini courses like Psychic Development 101, I take you through all the basics. And again, the videos are short, so you can watch one, go and do something else, watch 10, go do something else. There's PDFs to back them up. So Introduction to the Modern Oracle has over 80 videos and over 80 PDFs with all the information on. Mastering the Modern Oracle has all the things I told you there written on the PDF, as well as a video explaining it. So you can follow it along, you can read it, you can do whatever. And the same with Discovering the Modern Oracle of Essential Oils. So this one here has a meditation as well. So they all have a meditation. They all have a spread. There's a spread for this one too. With some of the other ones that I'm putting out, so I'm working on a few others now, accessing the Akashic Records. I'm doing one on basics of numerology. I do little mini ones to keep the price down. Short, you just watch them, do them. And if you forget it 2 months later, you can go back in, watch them and do them. And so, you know, they're good to do, but I'm very direct. There's no waffle, there's no padding, it's just go straight to it. Even my meditations are under 10 minutes. Some might be 13. Yeah, there is some 13, 14, under 20 minutes, I should say. No one wants to sit down for too long. They've got things to do. If I had to choose between doing a 13-minute video meditation and a half-hour one, because I'm so busy, I would go the 13 minutes. And I would say, oh, I'll do that half-hour one. And it might happen a few times because we all go, well, we have this thing where I've got to do that or I've got to do this. So we don't give ourselves that time. And so, again, because I'm direct and to the point, those meditations will take you for their purpose directly and it'll all happen and all the waffle has been taken out. Again, there's things like clearing the past. I recommend everyone should do the clearing the past meditation. Costs $10 or you can buy it as one of 3 for $25. The clearing the past helps you get rid of that baggage. And it gives you a tool to do that. And you can do it as many times as you want because we've all got more than one piece of baggage that we need to get rid of. And taking that exercise and doing that meditation to do that actually helps and sets the intention and tells the universe, I'm over this now. I'm ready to release it and let it go.
Oh, good.
I think I've talked your ears off now. So I'm going to say thank you so much for being with me today. And I hope you've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed being with you. And I